It was just incredible. It was an amazing thing to be a part of it, and the feeling was, I've never been in a group where it was young and old and black and white and yellow and brown and everything in between, and this sense of belief that we're all going to work together and make it work for all of us. It was an incredible experience. It is incredibly exciting for all of us. President Obama has always been in support of working families and labor unions and working people getting together and earning a decent wage and having a decent standard of living, decent benefits, decent health care, a decent retirement plan. And he talked about that in his inaugural address. And something else that he talked about in the inaugural address, and it makes this all so exciting, is he said, the arguments of old, whether we have big government or small government, all go away today. The key is that we have government that works for everyone. Now, that's the trick. Not just government that works for big corporations, not this crazy trickle-down economic where we give all the money to the uber rich so that people like Bill Gates can lose $12 billion in a day, which is just literally insane. But putting money where it's supposed to be in our economy, in workers' pockets with good jobs and good benefits and good health care for all. So it's an exciting time. There's a reason trade unions worked hard for him, because this is going to make lives for our members and their families better. It was just, once again, it was just incredible. Just to be a part of it was phenomenal. And it was 3 days of magic. Sometimes I had to pinch myself to realize I was there and a part of it. And, at the last inaugural ball, we were probably 20 feet away from Barack Obama. And it was just, he was tired. It was into the night. And let me tell you, that man had a long day. And we were one of the last of the 10 inaugural balls that he went to. And you could tell he was tired, but you still felt that energy and spirit just radiating out of him. It was an incredible thing. When I was there, serving in the capacity as a union president, I met leaders, the vice presidents of the AFT and the president of the AFT and the treasurer and the secretary, and all these other big important people and staffers with the AFT. And that's important as well, because before our term here in the GFT, they had forgotten who we were and why it was important. Now when we need something in DC, it's a call and the doors are open and everything happens. It's important that I can now do that for the people of Guam as a senator as well, in the halls of Washington. And one of the things that I'm going to look forward to doing in the very near future is, for instance, with this dump problem, and I'm still getting up to speed on how we might be able to come up with a solution that works for all of our families. But one of the reasons we don't use current ORDOT property is because there needs to be an FAA exemption. Now, the FAA exemption can only come, obviously, from the FAA, and the new secretary of the FAA, Barack Obama's. Now, see, through my union connections, my brothers and sisters from the air traffic controllers, the Pilots Association, the unions that represent flight attendants, and the AFL-CIO give me the access and the back doorway in to talk to these guys so that we can accelerate the process of getting this exemption through, if this is something that will be good for the people of Guam. And it's exciting that we might be able to do this, and I might be able to win for the people of Guam something that obviously no one else has been able to do in the future. And that's why we go to these things. And I mean, I met Ron Howard. I'm a big fan of Ron Howard, a phenomenal actor and director and producer. And, I remember from Opie, but we all have maybe Happy Days you might remember him from, Richie Cunningham, or some of his great movies that he's put out. But, and also I met Richard Branson, the CEO of Virgin Records, Virgin Airlines, the new thing where he sends people into space on that airline, as well as the political people that are important. It's just making those connections that give the people of Guam the power to be recognized when they're there. So imagine this. The inauguration's over, and 2 million people I mean, it's hard for me to conceptualize how many 2 million people are, but 2 million people are trying to get off the mall. And so there's this massive crowd. And as I'm going through these things, I run into this rather distinguished looking gentleman with dreadlocks and start talking to him, as I am wont to do. Turns out that he is a senator from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, imagine that. What are the chances that a senator from the unincorporated U.S. territory of Guam meets his counterpart, a senator from the U.S. unincorporated territory of the Virgin Islands? It was just phenomenal, and it's and we have so much in common, and it's just making these connections where we had a great time. We sat around and talked and exchanged information as we were standing in the line of 2 million people, and gives you some time to talk about the issues that are important to you and your constituents. And it's amazing. We have so many issues in common, and when we can get together with the other U.S. territories and build this coalition of solidarity so that we can bring the issues that we have in common to the U.S. Congress and Senate and the federal government, it really gives us the power to win for our families. And that's just another one of the phenomenal examples is why it's just so important to go to these type of events, in spite of the fact that you end up traveling for 4 days to spend 3 days there. But it was incredibly worth it, and it was a phenomenal experience all the way around. And I think I represented the people of Guam quite well, and I think we're going to get a lot of good out of this.
You're watching GFT, Guam's local union. Give us a call at 735-4390 or check out our website at www.gftunion.com.